Hey guys, let's get more news about Lakers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. 5-team blockbuster mock trade that would completely change the league. This massive 5-team mock trade would shake up the NBA, sending big names like Julius Randle, Andrew Wiggins, and Kyle Kuzma to new teams, while reshaping the league's balance of power. Imagine a trade so wild it changes everything we know about the NBA. This 5-team blockbuster does just that, moving star players and key role guys all over the place. The Warriors, Lakers, Knicks, Jazz, and Wizards would all be dealing, and the results could flip the league on its head. From Julius Randle finding a new home in LA to Andrew Wiggins heading to Utah, this trade could set the stage for an entirely different playoff picture. Let's break down how each team comes out of this game-changing scenario. In a league-altering move, the Golden State Warriors are making a big bet on offense by pulling off a trade that sends Andrew Wiggins, Gary Payton II, Moses Moody, and Kyle Anderson packing, bringing in Kyle Kuzma, John Collins, and Precious Achiuwa to bolster their lineup. This shakeup signals a new era for the Warriors, as they look to redefine their identity around Steph Curry, especially after the departure of longtime star Klay Thompson, who left in free agency after the 2023-24 season. With Thompson gone, the Warriors are turning to a younger, more versatile group to keep their championship window open. Kyle Kuzma is the kind of player who can fill some of the scoring void left by Thompson. Coming off a strong 2024 season where he averaged 22.2 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 4.2 assists per game, Kuzma is a proven scorer with the ability to create his own shot and knock down threes. He brings size and versatility at the forward position, which will allow the Warriors to experiment with different lineups and keep their opponents guessing. Whether he starts or comes off the bench, Kuzma's scoring punch is exactly what Golden State needs to stay competitive in the high-powered Western Conference. John Collins, on the other hand, adds a different dimension to the Warriors' frontcourt. His athleticism and rebounding ability are critical assets, especially as the team looks to maintain its defensive edge while adding more firepower on offense. Collins averaged 15.1 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 1.1 assists in the 2024 season, and he's shown the ability to be a force in the paint as well as stretch the floor with his improving three-point shot. Pairing him with Draymond Green in the frontcourt could create a dynamic duo that's hard to handle on both ends of the floor. The addition of Precious Achiuwa as a backup gives the Warriors even more flexibility. Achiuwa is a high-energy big man who can provide solid minutes off the bench, contribute on the boards, and play multiple positions. With his ability to run the floor and finish around the rim, he fits perfectly into the Warriors' up-tempo style of play. Having a reliable backup like Achiuwa ensures that the Warriors won't miss a beat when their starters need rest, keeping their rotation deep and effective. The Warriors' roster now boasts a mix of seasoned veterans and promising young players. Brandon Podziemski and Jonathan Kuminga remain key pieces of the future, and they'll continue to develop under the guidance of Curry and Green. Adding Buddy Hield and DeAnthony Melton in the offseason further strengthens the team's depth, especially on the perimeter. Hield's sharpshooting and Melton's defensive prowess give the Warriors additional options to mix and match depending on the matchup. With this new-look roster, the Warriors have a lot of interchangeable parts, particularly on the wings. Kuzma and Collins can both slide between the 3 and 4 spots, allowing for small ball lineups or more traditional setups with size and length. This kind of versatility is what has defined the Warriors' success in the past, and they're clearly aiming to replicate that formula as they transition into this next phase. Ultimately, the Warriors are betting that this infusion of offensive talent, combined with their remaining defensive stalwarts, will keep them in the mix for another title run. While the departure of Klay Thompson marks the end of an era, the arrival of Kuzma, Collins, and Achiuwa signals the beginning of a new one where Golden State is leaning heavily on youth, depth, and the ever-reliable brilliance of Steph Curry. If these pieces come together as hoped, the Warriors could very well remain a force to be reckoned with in the NBA for years to come. Dwight Howard on why he didn't want to be traded to the Lakers. Dwight Howard ended up winning a championship with the Lakers, but when he first traded there from the Magic in 2012, he wasn't happy at all. The Lakers were trying to form a mega-talented team, since the team had Howard, Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, Metta World Peace, and Pau Gasol on the roster. Many were touting the combination of Howard and Kobe to be the next big thing. So, there were a lot of expectations that Howard didn't vibe with. "It's difficult playing with Kobe," Howard said recently on Gil's Arena. 1. It's an expectation of winning, and then 2, everybody expected me and Kobe to be the new Kobe and Shaq, Howard said. "I'm just coming off injury, I'm still dealing with all the mental st from being in Orlando, and now I gotta go to LA and play with Kobe Bryant. I watched him play, they beat us in the finals. 1. I was already pissed, 'cause I had to go to LA, nobody ever knew that I didn't want to go to LA. The big man had his sights set on another team. I wanted to beat the Lakers, they had just beat us in the finals, so in my mind I'm like, why would I go to the team that just beat us? I wanted to go to Brooklyn and just start my whole career over, but I got sent to LA, Howard said. It didn't work out, and I made an emotional decision to leave. I didn't really make a smart, logical decision, I just made an emotional decision at the time." The Lakers' mega team only lasted one season, since Howard signed with the Rockets a season later. However, Dwight returned to LA on a vet's minimum contract and won a championship alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis. $48 million Los Angeles Lakers forward could be trade target for Philadelphia 76ers. There are not a lot of holes in the Philadelphia 76ers roster right now, after what has been a fantastic offseason for them. They are being considered championship contenders by fans and media alike, having assembled a big three of Paul George, Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. If there is one position where the 76ers do seem a bit light though, it is power forward. Caleb Martin, who was signed this offseason, is projected to be the starter there. Martin is a good player for sure, as we have seen during his time with the Miami Heat. The 2023-24 season was not his best though. Also, he seems a bit undersized at power forward. So, there is a possibility that the 76ers could look to strengthen further in that position at some point in the future, and a Los Angeles Lakers forward has been suggested as a potential top 3 trade target for the Sixers. In the article Imagining Every NBA Team's Top 3 Trade Targets on Bleacher Report, Greg Swartz suggested Lakers' Jared Vanderbilt as one of the potential trade targets for the 76ers. Swartz wrote, "A talented, versatile defender who can switch from bigs to wings, Vanderbilt brings the kind of defense that Philly will need from its role players." The 25-year-old has good size at 6 feet 8 inches and is beginning a very reasonable 4-year, $48 million contract this season. Having been picked 41st overall in the 2018 NBA Draft, Vanderbilt has never really had a steady home and has already been on 4 teams, with the latest being the Lakers. Other than the Lakers, Vanderbilt has also represented the Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Utah Jazz. After a slow start to life in the NBA, Vanderbilt developed into a starter for the Timberwolves and had a similar role with the Jazz. He is a consistent contributor for the Lakers as well, delivering 20 to 25 minutes. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Jared Vanderbilt? Leave your opinion in the comments.